Today I'll show you how you can transform everyday thrift store items into stunning holiday and winter decor for just a few dollars. Welcome to the Chic Show. I thrifted this magazine holder. I think it was handmade, and I just got it for a couple of dollars. So I'm going to remove the embellishments that are on front, and then I'm also going to be using this decoupage paper that I got in Sonnet's Maker's Box. It is a Roy Cycle paper, and this particular one has 4 sections, and I'm going to be using this one right here that says Merry Christmas. So I cut it to fit, and because of the slats in the magazine holder, I was very careful about where I placed my Merry Christmas so that you could tell what it says, because I am going to have to cut away the excess in the middle of those slats. So I'm slathering on some liquid patina by DIY, and I'm going to place that decoupage paper down, and then I'm just going to continue applying that on down the front of this magazine rack. Spritzing the paper with water also makes it a little bit easier to work with. So once I get that placed down, I'm going to go over the top with more liquid patina and let it dry completely. Once it is dry, I'm going to go around the edges with my little finger sander, and I'm going to remove that excess paper. The finger sander does help you get a nice clean line. Now I'm going to go along each slat with my utility knife and cut away the excess paper. You do want to do this pretty slowly so that you don't accidentally tear the paper. And this is how it looks when it's finished, and I love the rustic look of this piece. It's perfect to put your holiday greens in, or Christmas cards, or even Christmas books. I picked up a pair of these little wood chairs for $10. So they were $5 a piece, but I got them half price, so they were $2.50 a piece. I gave this little chair a coat of Waverly chalk paint in plaster.
Hey there, everybody, I'm Jesse Weber, and welcome to Crime. This is where we break down some of the most compelling and memorable true crime cases from across the country.
Using some air dry clay and IOD's Christmas tree mold from last year, I made a smaller Christmas tree to place on the chair. While the clay was still wet, I gave it a coat of Carriage House by Fusion. Next, I dabbed on just a little bit of Fusion paint in, I believe it was coal black, and I just dabbed that on to give some depth to the green paint. I kind of mixed it together. I continued by dabbing on a lighter green color to continue to add some depth to the tree. To seal in the chalk paint, I used Big Top by DIY. Before I applied the tree to the chair, I used some gold rub and buff, and I went through and I just kind of went over a few of those places that looks like they're in the texture that looks like little ornaments. Next, I used just a little bit of that rub and buff on the tip of my finger and just brushed over some of those textured areas on the tree just to bring them out. I apologize, I'm kind of out of frame here, but I had a little mold that was a ribbon and I used some of that air dry clay in it. And now I'm just painting over that with some of that gold rub and buff. This bow will go on the top of my tree. I used some of IOD's Gilded Transfers. These are the etiquette transfers, and I picked one out that would fit in this particular spot, and I applied it using my transfer tool. Once I have my clay molds set exactly where I want them, I used some Quick and Thick by Tight Bond to apply them to the chair. I took a few scraps from that same Gilded Transfer and just rubbed them on in various places on the seat of the chair. Once these transfers had been applied, this project was complete. I picked up this sign from Target at a garage sale, and I'm going to be changing it just a little bit to update it to more my style. So I used some of these larger Jenga blocks, and I'm gluing those together as shown. I did use a little bit of wood glue and then just a dab of hot glue for that quick and long-term hold. Once I have this U shape, I'm ready to move on to the next step. And the next step will include one of these palette signs from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be gluing it to the U shape. I'll set that aside to dry, and once it's dry, I'm going to be taking the sign and the piece that I just made outside and giving it a coat of white spray paint. The paint did not really want to adhere to the frame of this sign, so I am going over it with some fusion paint. Also, just a note that when I took it outside to spray paint it, I did cover up the back side because it was just a plain chalkboard area. So I did paint around the frame with the fusion paint, but I did not paint on that side because I wanted to be able to flip it around and use that chalkboard. Now I'm going to be adhering this little box to the front of my sign. And again, I'm using that Tight Bond and some hot glue. This is a wood piece that could be used all year round and can change with the seasons. And you can still use that backside as a chalkboard. Hope you've enjoyed these wood Christmas decor and winter decor ideas. Thanks so much for our hosts for hosting, and be sure and check out their channels and the playlist in the description box below. Here's another video I think you might like. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.